I was going up the coast in a minivan that broke. Like my voice when I told you I was leaving.
Pack my bag up, sick of home. Never homesick down that road. In my room by the moon with no ceiling. I was driving in a van that was older than 9+5, heading Kanye West off the tip of Argentina. Better than drowning engine, ain't got no sick to blame instead of my reflection. So I dreamt I packed it all like Anderson to end up where it all began.
We bought the truck in 2019, August, is when we went to go see it in Ontario. So we've had it for about 15 months now. With the truck's history, when we originally, the people we bought it from were using it to deliver food to farmers markets. They imported food from Holland, but they bought it from the city in Quebec called Saint-Elizabeth, and it used to be a fire department command post. And the firemen, during putting out a fire and stuff, if it was a bit longer in the winter, they'd come in and switch out their oxygen in the heated truck. So it was a command post and also like an area for the guys to warm up. We bought the truck so that we could spend a bunch of time together as a family because we like camping. And 2 years ago, or actually 3 years ago, a friend of ours lent us their RV. And that was almost an eye-opening revelation compared to camping in a tent. That was pretty sweet. And so the hunt was on after that. We're looking at all kinds of things, small vans, big vans, RVs, and the right thing didn't really pop up yet. And I had been looking at these step vans as an option. It wasn't cemented. It wasn't, oh, we have to get a step van. And it was just one of the ideas floating around out there. And then this one popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and I was, I think, the second person to contact the seller. And it's a good thing I did too, because when we went to see it 2 or 3 days later, we went really early in the morning. We got up at like 4:30 in the morning to go see it in Ontario. And so we showed up at his place at like 8 in the morning. And just the time that we were there, checking out the truck and stuff, his phone just exploded. He just kept getting message after message after message of people interested in the truck. So we picked it up. I mean, it ticked all the right boxes. The stuff that needed to be done, we knew we could do. And it was a blank slate. It was a big empty box. There was a couple of shelves in it that we took out. So we started from scratch. We couldn't have asked for better. And so far we've been to like Sandbanks National Park in Ontario. So just along Lake Ontario. We've been to out into the eastern townships, out in the Frontenac Park. We climbed a Mont Mégantic with this truck, which is one of the few mountains that you can still go to the top in a vehicle, and it's actually paved all the way. And it's pretty steep, and the truck made it up okay, and we haven't even done all the mods that we want to do to it yet to help it out for things like that, because we do count on taking it out later this year in the winter after the holidays. Is we're going to go out probably to the Chic-Choc in the Gaspésie, and we're going to do some backcountry skiing and stuff. So we're going to be on some logging roads back there, so we've got tire chains for it and everything. So we go skiing a lot in the winter, like we call it going to church. My daughter checks the radar nonstop every day during the winter to see where the storms are, and I know like 3 or 4 days in advance where we're going to be skiing because of my daughter chasing the storms. We got hooked on powder in a big storm a few years ago, and now that's what we do. We chase the snow. So the big part of the idea of this truck wasn't just that, oh, summer camping. That's just like an aside. For us, one of the main reasons for this truck is it's got to be winterized. We got to be able to spend 3 nights in it in the dead of winter in the middle of nowhere so that we can chase a big snowstorm. Well, so far we've probably got a 75% converted to an RV the way we want it. Got beds in it. We've got a little kitchen. We haven't put the propane in yet for the stove, so we're still cooking outside on a Coleman stove. We've got seating for 4, actually permanently in it right now with dot-approved seat belts. And we did a lot of mechanical work to it, changed the rear suspension completely, all new tires, which, you know, all new tires doesn't seem like a lot, but when you consider that the rear tires alone were $1,600, and then the front tires were another $1,400 just for the pair, you know, we've got $3,000 just in tires on the truck because they're big commercial sized tires. But on the plus side, we'll never have to change them again for 10 years. Under the hood, we did, there was a mechanical fan pulling the air, just like on a big truck. When a big dump truck passes you in the summertime and your windows are open, and you're like, super loud noise. Well, that's what our truck was like all the time when you were driving it before we put any sound deadening, because it's got one of those fans that turns all the time. It's always pulling air. So if you're driving, it was very noisy. We did that. We put sound deadening on it. We've changed the water pump. We've changed the alternator. So that's all going good now. So mechanically, we're actually pretty happy with it. And then as we're moving back, eventually we want to put a 4-speed transmission on it to bring the engine noise down even more, and it'll help the fuel economy too. We have aircraft style seatbelt. It's just like in an airplane. So they click in real easy. They're lap belts because the truck's 1979. Easy to remove, but they're actually DOT approved. Installed passenger seat here too. It can spin around, so you can be facing the front when we're driving and facing the back when we're sitting parked and eating. So when we bought the truck, it had a meter something by a meter tall flags painted on the side of the truck, one on the hood, one on the back door. What we did is my daughter is in art in school, and so she learned how to use my orbital sander, my having gone to school in bodywork back in the day. So we taught her how to use it, and away she went, and she sanded off the flags on the side, sanded off the flag on the hood, but we kept the back one, and we made a modification to it. So the red bar on the top now has a maple leaf painted into it. The middle bar, which is white, has mountain ranges painted on it in black. And the bottom bar, being from Quebec, is blue, and that's got 2 hand-painted fleur de lis on it. So in the back we've got the kids' beds, and then above that we've got a bed for my wife and I that you can raise and lower. We added also an RV window to the side, because we realized on some of our first trips that whoever's sitting in the back on the double bench back there is staring at a wall. So instead of actually seeing the countryside going by, which is part of the point of a truck like this, is you just sit there and play on your phone, because otherwise you're staring at a blank wall in the kitchen. So we put a window in, and that made a big difference. It lightens up the inside of the truck too. So future plans, stuff that's up the pipe right now, we've already got in the house sitting waiting for their turn to be installed. We have 2 solar panels that'll give us 390 watts of solar. We have all the controls for it. All the wiring has just been received. I just got my last parts yesterday. We've got a 300 amp hour lithium phosphate battery. So that'll be a lot of juice. We have a roof rack up there right now with a ski box, but we want to install a deck up there too. So once we do the solar panels, it'll be right above the driver actually, right above the front of the truck, and from there back we'll have about a 12 to 14 foot deck shared a bit with the ski box on the back right of the truck. So one of the neat things about these step vans is they're big, they're comfy, they're wide, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, what do I do in a parking lot at Walmart when I'm going to get my chocolate bars from a trip? Sliding doors. So it's a 350 or 5.7 liter, so a 350 cubic inch GMC/Chevrolet. It's the original engine still in the truck. It's got 90,000 miles now. It had like 85,000 when we bought it. So we've put 5,000 miles on it, which from memory, or actually if I just look at my gauge here, it's about 8,000 kilometers that we've put on it since we bought it. And we paid just over 4,000 for our van, and including all the repairs we've done and all the modifications we've done, we're sitting at about $15,000 or $16,000. So for us, it was a no-brainer. It's roomier. I've got 14 feet from behind the driver where I'm sitting right now to the back doors inside, and it's 6 feet wide and 6 feet tall, and I'm only 5'8", so, and that's with the insulation already in it. So for us, it was a no-brainer. The price was right. I like old things. I mean, what more could you want? So lo and behold, pandemic hits maybe 6 or 8 months after we bought the truck. Talk about perfect timing for us. For the van life has just exploded since, because it's one of the only getaways that people have right now. You can't fly anywhere, you can't go anywhere, but you can go somewhere if you're on your own little bubble. And we're in our own little bubble when we're in the van. And the freedom that it's afforded us, the freedom that we got for this summer, the freedom that's coming this winter, to us, that's what it represents.